Hello everybody, welcome back to Mass Effect Andromeda. Like I said, this part we're going to go around and talk to everyone on the ship.
I need a break. Do you need a break? Let's go for a break.
And we'll see what everybody has to say now that we've completed another main mission.
Care for some tea, Ryder?
I'd love a cup.
It's a cultivar originating in Sumatra. My own personal stash. Once I run out, that'll be it for Earth tea. I keep having these thoughts. I'm never gonna taste this again. I'm never gonna see that again.
You're not the only one, Subi. I have those senseless thoughts all the damn time.
And? Do they bother you?
It's natural. You'd have to be made of stone not to miss home sometimes.
The universe is like a giant tapestry. I love following its threads, but it distracts me from the whole picture. My family was right there, but I was too occupied by the abstract to appreciate them.
From everything you've told me, you're here because of your family. Your love of science, doesn't that come from them? Aren't you with them every time you chase down a new discovery?
Ryder, that's beautiful.
My mother made the implant in my head, and my father created the AI that uses it. I haven't lost them either.
Thank you, Ryder.
Yeah, so I think that there's only like, I want to say maybe 2 more like main missions. Like there might be more like that are considered main missions. But from what I can remember, there's only 2 more. Because like I said before, if you go through the game, like when I went through the game on the hardest difficulty, I just plowed through the main storylines.
You were clinically dead for a few seconds.
And it took me like, I don't know, it was one gaming session to do it anyway.
Our Sam's special.
Ah, your father's modifications. Worked out well, didn't they? Anyway, thank you, Sam, for saving Ryder's life.
You're welcome, Dr. Admiral.
I mean, can you really thank him? Because
I should get back to things.
Technically, he's also the one who took it. So, I mean, shouldn't he, like, break even? It's like, oh, he resurrected you. It's like, yeah, but he's the one who killed me. So, I mean...
real victory. Our arc back at the Nexus. I'd almost given up hope.
I find things, Callow. My job description's only 1 word.
It's horrible to think of Solarians in Ket hands, but at least our Pathfinder made it. Thank you, Ryder. I mean it truly. If you ever need a favor, just ask.
I'll let you concentrate.
Alright, so
You know
that's
where I'll
that.
be.
I still feel like I fucked up with PB and missed a fucking data core somewhere.
Hey, PB.
Hold that thought. Sit tight. I'll be right back. Hello. Don't worry. I'm not springing anything terrible on you. Actually, you be the judge. So, you and your team are like a fungus, you know? You look and smell funny and you grow in the weirdest places. And somehow, you found root in my... Oh, it's so corny to say. In my heart. Ugh. I'm recording this so when I get antsy, and believe me, I will, just sit my ass down and play it. Shut up, PB free card. Now, if there's anything you'd like to preserve for posterity, say it at the beep. Oh, and then join me in the meeting room. Beep.
Welcome to the team, PB. Glad you've decided to stay.
So, the reason I wanted to talk to you all...
Uh-oh. Did you mutiny and jettison, Ryder?
No such luck. He just showed up.
She did ambush me, but I survived.
No harm, no foul, huh? I just want to say, whether you all know it or not, I've had 1 foot out the door since I got here. And, well, that's gonna stop. I'm proud and happy to be part of this team. This... family. That's really it.
Okay.
About time you caught up, kid.
Yeah, you're one of us, whether you like it or not.
Well, great. So, my place is an utter mess. Who wants to help me clean it up?
Think I left the stove on.
I'm making ice.
It's an ungotten holiday.
Reports don't file themselves.
Helping Liam make ice.
But...
helping Liam make ice. Like, out of everyone that she could have went with to be like, I'm helping out, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna help out that guy. Like, fuck off. Alright, I am going back to see if she has anything else to say.
Hey, are you okay? I shudder to think what the Archon meant to do with you. I heard you had to die to get out of a trap? I think of myself as daring and death-defying, but you?
You are daring. I had upped my game.
Well, you win. Jackass. Just don't get yourself exalted, okay? That asshole means to ketify us all.
Can't let that happen.
But he's close. He's almost figured out Krogan. It's the scariest thing. Ugh. Let's talk about something else, okay?
Thanks for chatting. We'll talk again later.
You know it.
Yes, you know, I think that the difference between that choice is if you go to save the Krogan scouts, I don't think that you fight any more behemoths, or you fight less behemoths. But if you don't save the Pathfinder, I think that changes the ending. And it had, like, I don't remember exactly what it does, but I'm pretty sure that now that I've saved her, it'll change the ending for the better. Whereas if you do the Krogan Scouts, it makes the general game easier. Or at least bits and pieces of the general game easier because the Behemoth won't be there. As you saw, though, it doesn't really make too big of a difference for us. Once again, we're on easy. We've done all the side quests and that. I mean, if you're on the hardest difficulty and you do all the side quests and that, you're going to be good to go. Well, I doubt anyone's in the bathroom, but although it is taking a long time to open up. Here's Cora.
Got a minute? I could use a favor.
You only have to ask.
I kept thinking about Sarissa and my not being a Pathfinder. And the thinking turned into a project on Eos. Can you help me finish it?
What kind of project?
I'll put the nav points in the helm. Come along and I'll show you.
Okay, so that was the email that she had sent us.
That Archon barely sees us as sentient. Strings people up like puppets. Just no more playing dead, okay? I couldn't...
Cora, if it's between that and losing the team, you know what I'll choose.
Then we'd better stop those Ket quickly. Losing the Krogan could really hurt us down the line. But at least we got Reika. Sorry, rambling. Did you need me?
See you later, Cora.
Stay safe.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that I chose Reika last time as well. Because, like I said, it's between Reika helping you at the end or just a few more enemies to fight.
Won't change, Doc.
Your prosthetics are syncing properly. Your neuropathy-induced pain levels are consistent.
Hey, I'm used to it. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. You keep fighting smart, you hear me? You don't have much left in terms of organ redundancies.
Nah, it's fine. I don't mind.
Everything okay? This looks like a lot.
It is a lot. Just nothing he didn't already know about.
What do you mean?
He's fine, just old and missing too many parts. And too stubborn for his own good.
You love me just the way I am, Doc.
Don't get off that table until the scan is done.
Can I ask what happened?
Arm, side, hip, part of my leg. Strain balancing threading across my spine. It's all prosthetics and implants.
That's a lot.
Made it through the Krogan rebellions. Watched my culture disintegrate. Survived centuries as a merc. And all sorts of pirate shenanigans. 1,000 years of combat experience. All it took was one idiot with a pack of frag grenades.
It must have been hard.
Yeah, it got pretty bad. I hit some dark moments. Implant rejection after implant rejection. Prosthetics not syncing properly. Everything hurt. A lot. All the time. No purpose to anything.
How did you deal with it?
I didn't. I fell right into that pit. Almost. But then some shaman shows up, drops the tiniest little baby girl in my lap. This one's dying, he said. Not worth the trouble, he says. Useless is what he meant.
He wasn't just talking about the baby.
Yeah, I was useless too, but wasn't just about me anymore, so I got help. Learned how to take care of myself, take care of her, and she took care of me.
You found a way to live again.
We sure did. Wasn't easy on either of us. I'm old, stuck in my ways, and Cash has wanted to change everything since she could talk. Raising Cash taught me an important lesson.
What was it?
Took me a while to figure it out, but it's important. Parents aren't meant to be a goal, or a finish line. We're the starting line. Where you go from there, it's all you. Remember that.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, it is the parents who teach the kids the first things they learn, right? So.
Need something?
I saw another memory that Dad locked away. The day my mom died.
I'm sorry, Ryder.
We each have our reasons for coming here. Mom was his. Her death fueled him.
Grief can be a powerful motivator.
If you can't run from it, use it. Guess that's what he did. I'll let you get back to it.
I'll be here if you need me.
Did I really not talk to her after I got that one last time? Thought I had been doing so good on that. Checking in with her. I don't know where Drac went, because odds are he has more. Liam was up top though, and I didn't talk to him, and I probably should, because apparently you don't get all of your shit just from them being in their rooms. I could have swore that whenever you had like an actual quest with one of them, or like an important new conversation thing, that they were always in their rooms.
Pathfinder, Bradley says Prodromos is back on track. That road car threat made me angry as hell, but it also kind of made me feel like a local. I've arranged a thing on Eos for everyone. It's time I gave back, not just go from crisis to crisis. Sam has the nav points, dress light.
Okay.
Waiting on that trip to Prodromos, Pathfinder. Head there and hit my nav point.
Alright, so apparently he gets nothing else to say. Man, we are picking up a lot of, like, missions. You can really tell it's, like, the end of the game because we're getting all these, like, little, like...
Now is not a good time to be talking to me, Pathfinder.
Drac, listen.
Why? Your actions told me everything I need to know. Now walk away and give me time to calm down before I do something we'll both regret.
I'm sorry. I'm just... sorry.
Go.
Hi.
Look, you already apologized for what you did. That's more than most Krogan get. I updated Kesh, let the clan know what happened. And I'd rather be talking about something else right now, so...
Are you happy now that Spender's out of the picture?
Damn right I am. Good riddance, too. Someone somewhere will take care of him.
And you won't have anything to do with it, huh?
Hold a grudge. Me, I would never.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like like they should have put that thing with Drac before before hunting the Archon or something, because like after having that conversation in the med bay and then him being immediately pissed at me, it doesn't really track well, to say the least.
Hey, you're 2 for 2.
What do you mean?
2 times face to face with the Archon. 2 times you spit in said face. Figuratively speaking, of course.
We were nose to nose this time. Some spit might have hit the mark.
That's a 2-way street, Ryder. Ugh. Bastard's trying to exalt us all, huh? That's what all this is about?
Could be.
Typically, I like high-stakes games, but I'd rather be sitting at the kiddie table this time.
You joined the wrong crew then.
Good talking to you, Gil.
Anytime.
Kind of wish that this lift was a little bit automatic. Like, if you were downstairs, it automatically went down. If you were upstairs, it automatically went up, you know? Well, we already know that Liam isn't in there. Joel wanted to talk to us about the movie night.
You always look hungry.
He could use a
Oh,
bath,
there it is.
Ryder.
Well, maybe.
Liam's idea about watching vids together.
Movie night? He delayed again, out of respect for the Krogan.
Good. From what I've seen, your vids are flat. They're only seen and heard. Angara vids use tiny electrodermal signals. You feel it through your skin. I spoke to Gil. We have time to rig up a system to mimic it, if we can acquire the right components.
That sounds amazing. Let's do it.
The components we need should be sold on Aya. Let's be vigilant.
Okay, so that's another mission. Do we have another? I think we do have another one to go to Aya.
Hey,
Hello, Ryder.
how's the face wound?
I think my scar will be impressive.
Now you're gonna look even more badass.
And more appealing.
No doubt. Look at all the dates Drac gets.
Can you stay and talk some more?
I guess not.
I'll see you later, Joel.
Stay strong. And
That is the one issue with like these conversations that trigger like when you talk to someone, is like if you have more than one of them synced up, you have to leave the conversation and come back.
Now that we know where Meridian is, the Archon's downfall begins.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
This is just anticipation. You won't believe what celebration looks like. Let it out. Angara believe that burying your feelings is a broken way to live.
Interesting. I'll think about that.
I'm free to talk more, now or later.
I'll see you later, Joel.
Stay strong and clear.
Is he the only one where we got like back the conversation wheel after having one of those conversations?
You realize that even if I do find it, it's gonna cost you.
And you know I'm always true to my word, so just get it done. I'm hearing that Ket activity's down. I bet the Archon's still nursing his wounds. That means he can be beaten. The Ket can be beaten. People are waking up to that.
Didn't sound like you were discussing Ket over comms when I walked in, though.
Wasn't. I have a friend keeping a lookout for a lamp. One brought from home, but stolen in the revolt.
I didn't think you were so sentimental.
I'm not the only one. Suvi has her father's antique instruments, Cora her Asari prayer book, and Liam has the junk that Liam collects. These things are important. They remind us where we came from.
I know what you mean. I never want to forget what I left behind.
Even as we look forward to the future. Yes,
So what's so special about this lamp?
it's awful. It's got a butt-naked Asari for the stand, and she's holding a moon.
One of your prized possessions is a really ugly lamp?
The foreman at my first job had this lamp. When he was mean, I'd focus on it so he wouldn't see me upset. Now I keep it so I remember where I started. Most of my life was doing stuff to survive, taking shit from assholes or being one. I don't have to do that anymore. I can start over. Something honest.
Do you really want to start over? After everything you've been through?
I don't know. The point is, I have the choice of changing if I wanted to. For a while, I didn't care that I'd lost the lamp. Everything was a mess and it just didn't matter. But we've made progress, Ryder. Small things matter again. People are daring to dream.
I think my dream is finding someone special to explore the galaxy with.
Oh. And have you found that person?
I'm pretty sure I have. You'll love her. She's tall, great with guns, and getting people to do what she wants.
You know, the hell? Oh, right, she does have a bunch of food in that. I'm really curious as to what some of these races look like naked, and not in like a pervy way, in like an actual like scientific version way. Because I mean, the Asari you have to assume just basically look like a blue human, right?
Time heals all wounds.
But like the rest of them is just
Heals the wound, doesn't erase it. You don't lose someone like that without scarring.
So why weren't you on the Turian arc?
Our dad left Palaven with us long before the Ark even existed. I don't know if we really count as members of Turian society anymore. But who needs all those rules anyway, right?
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me. I feel like things are finally going our way, for real. Getting the Solarians back, that's huge. I just wish we didn't have to sacrifice so many for it.
Alright.
You probably have work.
I mean, by the looks of it, we sacrificed, what, 3 Krogan? I mean, like, how many scouts did Drac lose? Because, like, when we saw the little video afterwards, it did show, like, 3 of them walking in, right? Like, that was it? I'm curious, because, like I said, it does make Behemoth there spawn more. I don't know how much more. I know that there's at least a couple points where a Behemoth shows up where they wouldn't be. I don't know if it completely eliminates them from the game if you go and get the scouts, because theoretically there would still be some left over, probably, that we wouldn't have got or that they already had partially exalted somewhere else or something, you know? Prodromos, Gil and Jill, Prodromos, go to Eos, Havarl. Well, we only have one for Havarl, and we've only got time for about 1 quest anyway, so we'll go do that one. But yeah, it's weird. What was I just talking about anyway? Oh wow, we got a lot more places to explore now. Not that any of them are probably useful. Maybe we'll just do that. Maybe we'll just go around. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense just exactly how pissed Drac is with what you're showing, right? Because like, theoretically, with how pissed he is, it would have had to have been a lot of scouts. Now, Krogan don't like Solarians.
Considering what they were up against, your explorers made it a long way out.
Now, yeah, so like Krogan generally don't like Solarians as it is, so obviously choosing to save Solarians over Krogan would obviously piss him off, so it's to be expected that he's at least a little bit pissed off, right? But like the way he's talking, it's like us not getting the scouts back were like a crippling blow to the Krogan. And it's like, now, once again, I was misled with how many Solarians there were. But like I said, it's one of those situations in a game where neither option would have been the one I chose. Like, I could think of a third option, which, like I said, especially since there was apparently no combat in between us and Ruka. Was that her name? Whatever. The other Pathfinder. And like, I know how skilled all of my team members and that are, right? So I mean, send Vetra and Cora, or well, I mean, bring more than 2 people with you when you're invading an enemy flagship, maybe. But yeah, send those 2 to save the Krogan. They should be able to deal with it themselves. And you know, us go and help the Solarians, right? There's no reason why we couldn't have done that and probably succeeded. And they could have even had it in there where depending on what level you are or the skills and what level they are, I guess, like how many skills and that they've unlocked, whether or not the people you sent had done their loyalty mission and had their final tier of skills and whatnot, it could have determined whether or not they succeeded. Right? Now, obviously they wouldn't want to kill off anybody doing that, so if they wouldn't have succeeded, then maybe it's just you would have had to go and rescue them. But I digress. Obviously, there's a lot of things, if you're going to make it so that it's not just an instant success, there would be a lot of things that you'd have to take into account, but whatever.
Very little signal traffic
It's pretty remote.
And yeah, it's just one of those things. And, you know, there's a few of them in every game. It doesn't matter what game it is. There's any game where you have choices to do stuff. There's always a choice that they don't give you that you can think of. Like, not necessarily. Sometimes there is basically 2 choices, or sometimes you may not be able to think of another choice that you could have done instead of the choices they gave you. But my point is that odds are in every game that you get choices, there's a choice that somebody somewhere thought of that would have been a better outcome, at least for them. Maybe not necessarily for everyone. Like, somebody might have had it better or been like, oh, you could have done this and this, but you don't like that idea for whatever reason, either gameplay or story wise. Now yeah, like, because like I said, I've been playing Fallout 4 and there's a lot of that in there, right, where it's like I looked up a thing there, and there's like a very convoluted way to make it so that the only people or the only faction that you have to kill is the Institute. Like, pretty much every other choice that you make in that game, and you have to do it in like a very specific way, so that I'm assuming that there's like some hidden like counter to tell how much like a faction likes you, and like if you do it in this way, then it doesn't lower the counter enough that they hate you or something. But anyway, it's just one of those things where it shouldn't necessarily. Oh god, there's more fucking anomalies.
Anomaly on sensors.
Where like it shouldn't be that difficult. Like, there should have been more choices added in to prevent stuff like that. Because apparently, like, because I never finished Fallout 4, like, story wise. But I guess apparently if you make it to the end of pretty much any, or like if you go and destroy the Institute with pretty much any faction, you end up having to kill off the other faction. And I say the other faction because the Minutemen are fine no matter what, because the Minutemen are how they justify the settlement, so they couldn't really make you take out the Minutemen. Whereas, you know, obviously the Brotherhood and the Railroad and the Institute are all whatever, right? So, I mean,
Does it ever give anything back?
I'm picking up something.
of course you are.
Probe away.
But yeah, so there's like a very convoluted way that you can make it so that you have the Brotherhood, the Railroad, and the Minutemen all alive and fine with each other. Like, clearly, obviously, because like the Brotherhood and the Railroad are obviously at odds. Neither of them really care about the Actually, I think the Railroad ends up like allies with the Minutemen if you do either of their quest lines. I think they both end up as allies of the Minutemen, but they're as allies with each other. But yeah, and then there's, you know,
Anomaly detected.
a lot of stuff like that in that game. Like, even just like minor quest wise, right? There's stuff that are like, it's like, oh, you got this choice and this choice, and it's like, neither of those choices are something I would do. It's like, why? And like, you just think, it's like, well, why can't I do this? And like, it makes perfect sense to you. You don't think it would take much to program in, or for them to have programmed in. It's like, why wouldn't they have thought of that and put it in there? But I mean, at the same time, there's plenty of things that like I look at it and it's like, I never would have thought of that. It's like somebody had to think of that and put that in there. And it's like, I would not have thought of I would not have thought of that. Now, granted, a lot of times,
Anomaly detected.
that's not a good thing. Like when something's like, most of the time, if a video game is going to surprise you, come out of the blue, and it's like, I never would have thought of that.
Detecting what's left of a ship.
It's because it makes no sense. It could be something that ends up being really good that you wouldn't have thought of. But a lot of the times it's because it doesn't make very much sense as to why you didn't think of it. But yeah, like we're almost done this. Next part or two will probably be cleaning up all those quests I just got. Since we do have to go back to Eladin.
Here or not, the first to cross the ocean in a balloon.
On Paladin? Brave soul. There aren't many soft places to land.
Yeah.
Anomaly on sensors. Probes launched.
But yeah, it'll probably take us a couple parts to get through all of those. Because there's quite a few of them, and they're all like cutscenes, because it is like the end of the game, you know. We have, like I said, I'm pretty sure we have more or less 2 main missions left to do. We go to Meridian, or I don't even think that the first place we go is Meridian. I think we end up somewhere else before we go to Meridian. Or we go to Meridian and then go somewhere else and then go back to Meridian or something like that. Something to that effect. It's really cool anyway what happens. But anyway. So yeah, like it won't be too, like, I'd say probably 2 weeks. We'll probably be done it in 2 weeks. It'll take definitely 1 part to get through all those quests we just got. If not 2. But then after those quests, I think it's just a straight shot through the main missions. Like when we go to Meridian, or when we do the next main quest, I don't think that we get anything in between the two of them. In between like the next main quest and the one after it. Where is it? There it is. Like on the other side of the fucking planet.
Probes launched. Getting a scan.
So yeah, we're getting close to the end. The last, I don't think the last mission, what I'm thinking of as the last mission, doesn't take like a huge amount of time. It'll be 1 part. It's like an hour long, but I'll make it just 1 part since it's like the final mission. But what I'm thinking is the second last mission is a pretty lengthy one, and that might have to be cut into 2.
One of the most remote systems in the cluster. We're on the brink.
Exciting, isn't it?
So yeah, like it shouldn't. It's like I don't know if the second last mission will be a part by itself. Even if the final mission is longer than an hour, it would have to be like way longer than an hour for me to not just upload it as 1 part. Because I mean, if you've been watching the series all the way through, I'm sure that you'd much rather have like the entire thing. And even I'll say, even if I cut it into parts, I'll release them both at the same time on the same day. Like if it is really long, I'll cut it into 2, but I'll release it on the same day so that you have both parts. Because I know if I was watching a Let's Play and they were on like the final mission, and they like halfway through the mission, they cut it, and I had to wait even just 2 days, like my videos are, I would still probably be rather annoyed.
Tracking a huge mineral deposit.
So I'll definitely make sure to release them both at the same time if I end up cutting them in 2. But yeah, so that'll be it for this part. We don't, like I said, we'll have quite a bit of, I was going to say world building, but I guess it's more character building, team development going on here. But that'll be it for this part. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next week for more.